Hello. Hello everyone. How you doing? Hope you're having a good day for a Sunday. A little early here and trying to get some things going. So we will jump right into my book. It's called Syllable and Chorus. I hung on your every word when you spoke because every line awakened a child hidden within me. Someone wanted to play and gleefully my heart sprung to life. As it rode a roller coaster before it dove into your eyes, swimming in the blue of your iris. The closer I drew into you, your voice hesitated, and I found myself asking if there was someone else. While fighting to pull the heartstrings in the hopes of rescuing my drowning heart before it is lost forever. Kicking and screaming, I wrestle my heart and cradle it like a child who doesn't understand why it plays alone. So this poem basically it talks about how a lot of times when you find that person that you enjoy being with because they bring out that inner child in you. And this is what happened. I found a person who brought up my inner child, and then she decided, or then you find out, well, I should say, found out that she was dating somebody. So it's just like, well, shit. It is what it is. But and you want to try to build a friendship at least. I mean, just trying to get to know the person at least. I mean, is having them in your life in some way. Not trying to be weasel or anything, but you want to be friends. You know, but unfortunately, a lot of times when somebody in the situation, you know, they didn't want to have another man around or a guy friend because they didn't want to have their questions because they felt that the other person would be insecure. And if the other person's not secure and about who you have as your friends, then it's automatically a red flag. But you know, not my circus, not my carnival, not my monkeys. Not going to worry about that. That's somebody else's, that can deal with that. This next poem's called For All I Do. Am I meant for something more than being passed over in life? For all I do, I'm still being left in the dust no matter how I fight. What do I have to do? Sometimes I wish I could wipe it all away and start all over again, leaving them all in the destruction in my wake. Alas, it's worthless to try because they don't know. The depths of my pain, and once I'm gone, they will not remember me, nor will they care. And it's true because, you can sit there and you can say something about, well, those people will regret me, not being around. They won't regret you not being around because they really didn't care for you to be in their life in the first place. And I'm not talking about people who generally love you and care about you because there are people who generally do care and love you. But I'm talking about other people that, you know, they don't make an effort to be in your life. You know? And there's a lot of times I see that with other people. So that's why for me, I don't make a general effort to be in theirs. It's just like, okay, you're going to treat me like this, so I'm going to treat you the same way. So, it's like, people that show up in your life are the ones that, that care about you and generally wonder if you're all right or anything. And not be, let you pass by the wayside and not really wanting to know how you were doing. So, and you start to see that more as you get older in life. And it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I see. This next person, floating in a drip. But this next poem is called A Fool's Paradise. Maybe I'm just unworthy of love, and all these lines of spoken words are meaningless for someone like me. Love is a fool's paradise, and I'm standing on the beach watching the waves crash upon the shore. When all I ever wanted to see the world through divine eyes, ones that made of blue sapphires with traces of gold flakes, a timeless beauty whose elegant form was etched into my memories, as I rose the waves of heavenly kisses, where I was lost in the stardust of you in every moment. I grasp with all of my might to hold on to you before you faded from my fingertips. I guess I'll long for love till forever dies in the stars. And it's basically, you know, you give up on putting yourself out there so much for people when they don't really show any response or any kind of thing of who you are, or wanting to get to know you, or get to see you, or thank you in a certain way. So, and you just let it go. This next one's called A Fine Wine. Sip me slow, like a fine wine, she said. So at every breath I took her until I was under her spell, locked into her eyes. And in the throes of passion, it's a bliss, she said, finding her tugging on her hair, laced between my fingers, with just a summer affair, drifting between the sheets until I drained her cup dry. Uh, excuse me. So this is basically about wine, and I posted this with a poem. Took her of a picture of a wine goblet, and just because of the word prompt that was here, it's basically you wanted it to the words "it's a bliss" and "sit me slow" was basically something that was um, used in that poem for a word prompt. This next one's called "When You Want." What do you do when you want to touch a beauty? When your eyes meet, and in the explosion of stardust you see the magic of her soul. The light she pours from her touch when she reciprocates, taking away the madness you feel deep within your heart because she takes away the ache of loneliness. And it's pretty much explanatory about how um, some people do that, and how they are as a person. They take away that feeling of regret or the loneliness that you feel because they're there, and they reciprocate friendship or love or something. This next one's called "It's Maddening." It's maddening trying to make you understand where I'm coming from. I overthink it all, from the time I awake to the time my head hits the pillow. It's a constant river of thoughts streaming through my head, all of it. Even in silence, there's thoughts gliding along a clear plane of glass in my headspace. Memories and lies, each thought mixed with sadness, guilt, and feeling numb from all the regret, and you want me to pull happy memories from the abyss. I remember things as they play like a movie. 35mm film winds around the wheel as the light burns them into the walls of my skull. No sound, only ghosts shimmering across a screen of light. Faces etched in my heart as tears fall. And it's basically, the poem is about um, lost friendships, lost loved ones, and the memories that you have with them, that even though they're not here in some way or form because the friendship ended, or somebody passed away, family members and stuff, and so you still remember the good times you had. So those are the things. It's like, of all the memories, play like one of the 35mm films that in your head, and you remember all the things that was going on. So this next poem is called "Passing Night." She chances across the night sky, and with each passing night, she slowly reveals her body for all to see. She longs to be held in the arms of her lover, as they rarely share the sky. Together in the daytime, the sun bathes the moon in light, as her silhouette twirls upon a black-lit canopy. Naked she drifts among the stars and stardust, hiding a figure behind a cloud, just to play coy when her lover is around. And this poem is basically about the sun and the moon and their relationship. Some people see them as like a brother and sister. Some people see them as other, and I think it's more of other. You know, as the moon dances across the night. Basically, she moves in the night, and sometimes she's out during the daytime with the sun. So this next one is called Words of My Heart. I carry a box of memories where all the words of my heart are written upon these pages. Not a single page is blank. They are all stained with the blood and tears bound together by my heartstrings. And as I turn the page, the song plays, one for every chapter. Bittersweet time stirring melodies transcend time to help tell a story of me, every line, every verse. Had the sweetest sound before it was drowned out when the curtain fell and the act moved on to the next. There are more stories to tell as I added more notes to the pages of notebooks. And this is basically a poem about writing about poems and writing the book of life. And it's basically, every page, every day is a page that you write something new that you've done or experienced. And that's basically what is going on here, is what I kind of work it. So this next poem is called Your Vines. Roses are red and your vines entangle me. Gripping thorns draw me in, tearing my flesh as I try to escape your grasp. You weave your spell, leaving me enchanted by your fragrance of madness and sexual desire. I can't escape the attraction of a femme fatale. An old flame becomes rekindled and I fall into slavery of your sex on Valentine's Day. And it's basically about somebody else. The situationship. So. Oh. All cloud tops and memories of wandering through daydreams and relaxing on gentle winds. And that one's untitled because I don't have a title and don't have a thing on here. And one more poem, and then we'll call it done. And we are almost there. We're like 40 something pages away from finishing this book. This poem's called She's Human Like You. Let go and find the courage, man. She's human like you. Beautiful, enchanting, and elegant. Why is it so hard? She's probably married, has a boyfriend or a girlfriend. So I bite the bullet and cling to her in friendship. Just die inside when she's right there, sipping through my fingers. Every second of my life, are you worth the plane? The voices in my head ask. While on repeat, so their words echo inside my head, inside my mind. All my courage is spent, it seems like. Just spinning my wheels in place, everything else flies by me. And it's basically, as I said before, is that you want to be friends with somebody. But you kind of hope that, things will move into a pace where you can get to know that person a little bit more. Maybe things will eventually blossom into a relationship. But, it's not trying to be secretive about things. But, just, it is what it is. But at least we want to have that friendship, too. Sometimes it's best being friends more than anything. I mean, because you really should be a friend with the person you love. And I just think like sometimes we kind of miss that in transition. So who knows? But definitely when I go to repost this video, when I go to post this video, I would definitely add a contact information for my friends. Definitely check out Sarah Aikenhead and Bill Merlone Miller as they do Cast It Into the Fire podcast. Check out my friends Aria, Simmons, and Brian and Alberta for Reiki. Check out my friend Dwight Kirk and his solo dolo over on YouTube, and his simulated sports games with baseball, football, and basketball. Definitely check him out. He works very diligently to get that content out there. Just the same for Sarah Aikenhead and her, and for Bill. Definitely check them out. And if you're needing something for Mom for Mother's Day, definitely check out Jenna Jinx Portraits. to get something, commission her for something special for mom for Mother's Day, or just for yourself, or go and check out her library, different portraits and paintings and stuff she does. So y'all have a good day, take care, and I will see you next Sunday.